As you get started with your landscape design this week, I thought it'd be helpful to understand a little bit about the process that landscapers go through to come up with that design. So we're going to go through this um, PowerPoint today on the landscape design process. It was prepared by the Minnesota Nursery Landscape Association. So if you were a landscaper, you would start by interviewing the client and then go through a series of steps that would allow you to create a plan for them that hopefully would be something that they are interested in using. I should mention that I have a 9-year-old behind me that's playing Madden on Xbox, so if you hear boom or cheering or something, it's just him. So, the first step in the process is to interview the client. Okay, you're going to ask questions about what they want out of the landscape that you're creating for them. Is it for recreation? Do they want to be able to garden, have a vegetable garden, or to grow flowers that they can cut and put in vases? Do they want to be able to entertain people? Outdoor rooms have become very popular, like, a backyard that's almost like a living room where people can gather together. Um, or do they have certain hobbies that they want to be able to, accommodate? My neighbor right now has pails hanging from his maple trees. He is collecting sap to make maple syrup. And so that's something that he's interested in doing and would want to make sure that he has maple trees in his yard. Okay. The next step is to analyze the site and family activities. When you're thinking about landscaping, you often think about things in terms of a public area or public areas and private or outdoor living areas. The public areas are the parts that people can see. So a lot of times our front yards are public areas. Sometimes our side yards are the private or outdoor living area. Oftentimes this is in the backyard. Those are places where you want space to be able to sit and visit or do activities without everybody seeing. Private areas also might be areas that house service products, like a place to put your garbage cans or a place for your central air conditioning unit to be, things like that that you don't necessarily want everybody to see. So your first step as a landscape designer would be to prepare a base plan. So you figure out what's already there. You draw in the house, sidewalk, driveway, the front steps. Maybe if there's already large trees or things that are in a certain space, you draw those in. So you can see in this slide that they kind of have a base plan for the house. We're going to keep this pretty simple for your project. I'm going to have you, draw like a very simple house using an architect's scale, and then and a driveway and a sidewalk. And then you're going to just do a very basic design from that point forward. Okay, so you're not going to have to go out and survey a property and do all of that kind of stuff. But I want you to see the steps that a landscaper would go through. Okay, so then a landscape designer would develop a balloon diagram. So this is just like kind of their sketches or thoughts about what they would want to put in. So you can see here that they'd want to add a shade tree in the front yard. They'd want to add some type of um, line or screen here to kind of square off the property. They'd want to put a shade tree in the backyard, maybe add a deck and a patio. These are all things that they'd want to add in. So these are just sketches at this point. Once again, you're not going to have to do a balloon diagram, but I just wanted you to see it. So then they'd come up with a preliminary design. They put in the trees, any special features like a deck or a patio or a wall, all of those things they've laid out here in this design. And they end up coming up with a landscape plan. Okay, so here they've got specific names of trees. Important things to note, we're just going to use circles to show where any of the plants go. There are symbols that are used for every single different kind of thing in a landscape design, but just because of this distance learning that we're doing, I think we're going to keep it simple and just put circles in wherever you intend to have a plant. But you should note that at the center of your circle, you're going to put a number. So you have a plant selection list. We'll look at that here in a second, or in a separate video actually. But if you want to use plant number 7 from that list, you should put a 7 here at the center of this tree. And then the size of the circle is the diameter of the tree or the width of the tree that you found on your plant selection sheet. So if it says that your tree is going to spread to 20 feet wide, you need to set your compass for 10 feet, put it here in the center, and you need to draw your radius of 10 feet because then you get a circle that shows a 20-foot diameter. For all of these landscape plans, you're showing the plants at mature size. Okay, if that doesn't make sense, give me a call. So just showing you some different landscape plans, what they look like at the end. Okay, so yours is going to be very simple. These are pretty complicated. I don't want you to get worried about this. In my next video, I'm going to show you how to do the plant selection worksheet. And then I'm going to show you some examples of what designs look like in the past. Once again, those designs are probably more detailed than what you're going to do in this distance learning setting. But I wanted you to see, like, these that I'm showing you right now are something that professionals did. What you're going to put together, I'll show you examples of what other high school students have done. So that's a little bit more realistic. Okay, let me know if you have questions.